World Trade Center Building Number 7. On September 11, 2001, it was one of the casualties of the terrorist attacks on that horrific day. Building 7's sudden and shocking collapse has been overshadowed by the fate of the Twin Towers. But from an engineering standpoint, it is the greater mystery.
We were surprised that Tower 7 collapsed. We being the team that investigated what occurred on that day. There was some damage to Tower 7 caused by the debris that hit it from Tower 1, but the damage was certainly not similar in scope or magnitude to that caused by the aircraft hitting Towers 1 and 2.
The only positive aspect of this building's demise is that it fell 7 hours after the two main towers. Everyone had been evacuated, and even though the 47-story building collapsed in on itself in under 10 seconds, no one was killed.
World Trade Center 7 was completed in 1987. It had approximately 1.8 million square feet, 47 stories, and was roughly 600 feet tall. Each of the floors was approximately 40,000 square feet, which is roughly the size of a football field and equal to the size of the floor plate on each of the towers.
The building was a good building. It was soundly designed. It would still be standing if not for 9/11. And it was state-of-the-art at the time, absolutely.
One of the challenges the engineers faced in designing World Trade Center 7 was finding a way to erect the building over an electric company substation that already existed on the north side of the site.
As a result, we had to do very many, I'll use the word tricks, transferring of column loads, carrying loads either on cantilevers or on truss systems. It was a challenging project at the time.
Analysis of the collapse of Number 7, which had been burning out of control since the collapse of Tower 1 7 hours earlier, seems to indicate the initial failure occurred somewhere between the 5th and 7th floors. This is where the transfer trusses were built to carry the load over the Con Edison substation. The way the building fell supports the idea that at least one of the trusses was weakened by the fires in the building and gave way.
Once one of those trusses went down, then because of the way everything was interconnected in the floor system, it pulled down the rest of the building.
Normally, when you have a structural failure, you carefully go through the debris field, looking at each item, photographing every beam as it collapsed and every column where it is in the ground, and you pick them up very carefully and you look at each element. We were unable to do that in the case of Tower 7.
The wreckage from Tower 7 was mixed in with the debris from the other destroyed or damaged buildings and removed from the site so rescue and recovery efforts could continue.
We then have to ask, why did the building fail on 9/11? Well, there are a couple of things we could look at. One is, perhaps the column didn't have the right amount of fireproofing. Well, we have no indication that this was a substandard building at all. It is certainly possible that the debris that started the fire in Tower 7, this is the debris from Tower 1 when it collapsed into Tower 7, that debris knocked off some of the fireproofing. It doesn't take much fireproofing to be removed for the steel to fail.
One theory suggests the steel around the 5th floor was superheated by diesel fuel discharged from broken pipes, supplying the building's emergency generators. But the explanation may be simpler. The building caught fire at 10:30 a.m. when Tower 1 collapsed. The water pipes supplying the sprinkler systems were also damaged. And the fire department made the decision to allow an evacuated building to burn for the next 7 hours in favor of trying to save the lives of those trapped in the rubble of the Twin Towers.
If you allow it to burn long enough, it's going to get past the fireproofing material and it's going to cook the steel, and the steel is going to yield.
To ensure against future high-rise disasters, many different agencies are involved in the ongoing effort to determine the exact cause of the failure. However, this has not stopped the construction of a new building.
We have to rebuild on that site. We have to rebuild on the World Trade Center site. If we didn't, then we lose. And we ain't gonna lose.
downtown Manhattan. It's a long way from Conception Harbor, Newfoundland, but it's the men of Conception Harbor who helped build this town.
Bunch of fish.